Good morning. Thank you for joining us for the Psychology of Lead Conversion webinar. This webinar is the 9th in the 2015-2016 Maryland Association of Realtors Webinar Thursday series and one of the free MAR benefits. You can view the entire schedule on our website at mdrealtor.org under Top Destinations. There will be handouts available on our site after the webinar with a recording of this webinar. Ethan Butte, our presenter this morning, serves as the VP of Content and Communication at BombBomb. Through blog posts, newsletters, stage presentations, and webinars, he teaches people to build relationships more effectively through simple video messages. Please hold your questions until the end of the presentation. Thank you, and let's begin.
All right, I'm just going to get this thing fired up here. And does that screen look okay for everyone? Are we looking at the psychology of lead conversion with BombBomb?
Yes.
Awesome.
We are.
So we are talking about lead conversion. We are going to be talking a lot about online leads, but everything that we're going to be talking about can be applied equally to folks that you're working with on repeat and referral business. Those are also obviously leads to convert, as well as everyone that might be in your pipeline, those responsive and non-responsive leads that you want to connect with. We're also going to be talking a lot about email, but a lot of what we share is also going to apply equally well to other forms of communication. And the reason we're focusing a lot on email is because a lot of your leads look like this, don't they? Right? You oftentimes get a fake name, you get a fake phone number, and often you get a real email address because that's how they get the value, right? You might be offering details on a listing or search results, things like that, that they actually need to get it to their email. So they give you an accurate email address, but what this type of thing reflects is these leads are operating under a bit of a cloak of anonymity. Right? They don't really want to reveal themselves yet. They're not yet ready to talk. A salesperson, although you're all much more professional than the traditional slick salesperson that a lot of people have in their heads, they don't know that yet. And so they want to hide a little bit, and these digital channels that we're operating in allow them to do that. So we need to learn how to reach out and engage them on their terms to meet them where they are. And so we're going to talk about a lot of tips for that today. Things we're going to talk through today: understanding today's leads. And of course, these leads are just people. We're going to talk about some tools. All of them that I talk about are going to be free, or at least you can try them free. We're going to share some scripts that we've picked up and some psychological triggers that we've seen be very, very effective. We're going to talk about a key thing: how to get your emails open, because if they don't open the message, obviously they can't experience anything you have to share with them. And we spent a lot of time working with agents and broker owners on using video in their business. We're going to talk about video in the context of lead conversion as well. And again, my name is Ethan. My email address is ethan@bombbomb.com. It's on the bottom of the screen right now if you want to make a note of that. Anything you want to ask toward the conclusion of this session, or you maybe want to ask me offline, I'm happy to field that or to share it with someone here on our team that would be able to answer it better or more quickly. So feel free to reach out with any questions at any time. So we're going to start with understanding today's leads, which is understanding people. And a great place to start is with Daniel Kahneman, who obviously wrote Thinking Fast and Slow. He's one of the world's foremost experts on decision making. He's an economist by background, but he's gone deep, deep into human psychology, because economics is essentially the study of decision making and human psychology. And so he's broken the brain down into two parts, unglamorously titled System 1 and System 2. And System 1 is associated with cognitive ease. It's automatic, it's intuitive, it's impulsive, it's emotional. Have you ever met someone and within 2 or 3 or 4 seconds you just have that feeling, man, I really like this person, this is a good person, and I'm going to enjoy my time with him or her. This is the primitive part of our brain, and you can imagine why it's developed this way. That gut feeling that we get that we need to be able to act on is trained into us over millennia as human beings, right? What happened to us if we weren't good at gauging trust, 5,000 years ago? We died, right? And so we've evolved to make these decisions with System 1 with great ease and great intuition. And so System 1 is the emotional part of us. System 2 is associated with cognitive strain. It takes work. This is the analytical part of our brain, the thoughtful part of our brain, the deliberate part of our brain that just really goes to work and churns a little bit. It takes more energy and it takes more effort. So what does this look like in real life? A buddy of mine just bought a motorcycle, and he bought it because it got great gas mileage. No, he didn't buy it because it got great gas mileage. He told himself that, and he told me that, but he bought it because he wanted a motorcycle. He wanted the wind in his hair, he wanted the noise, he wanted the feel, and he justified it by saying, oh man, this thing gets way better gas mileage than my truck, which is true, but we tend to rationalize our impulsive and emotional decisions. Here's another one. My sister has her eye on a really nice but expensive designer purse, and she's looking at it, she's thinking about it, and then one day she almost drops her iPad, drops it, catches it on the way down, and of course the screen would have been shattered, it would have been ruined. And so in her mind she says, well, that iPad, I could carry it around in that new purse. That purse is bigger than my current purse, and it would hold the iPad, and gosh, maybe I should just buy it so that I don't wreck my iPad, right? We rationalize our emotional decisions. And so what does this mean for us here in the context of lead conversion? If we're relying on email, which a lot of your lead relationships start in email, if we're starting there, what part of the brain is operating when they get an email and they have to read it? They're operating with System 2, but we need and want them to operate with System 1. We want them to feel, not just to think. And I don't say that to reduce them, to reduce these folks that you want to work with to something less than a fully rational thinking human being, but we want them operating in that more intuitive mode where they really connect with you and get feelings about you. Okay, and so that's a problem for us. So we're going to focus on unconscious mental processing. We're focusing on System 1 thinking because that's where motivation lies. And System 1 is very often the master of System 2. System 2 kicks in only when people are faced with enough strain in the decision-making process that they need to kick it in. Otherwise, they're operating and being motivated by their feelings, which is great. We all operate by our feelings. And so we're talking about the general field of behavioral psychology, the ability to understand and influence people. And there's been a ton of research in this field overall, but it's really heated up over the last decade, specifically for the reasons we're talking about today. And that's a resurgence in this field around faceless digital communication and how to overcome that faceless digital communication, how to use particular keywords, how to engage people so that we can make them feel instead of just being deliberate and strained in their thinking and decision making. And ultimately, when we think about this, we need to talk about people in the context of our business. We need to talk about them relative to where they are with our business. So it's not, I've seen a lot of these memes in real estate Facebook groups and things about, stop calling them leads and all that. There's a function around referring to people as leads, but fundamentally, of course, they're all still people. And so I don't say you shouldn't use the word leads. We need to understand where they are. Are they buyer leads, seller leads? Are they responsive leads or non-responsive leads? Are they converted leads? We need to understand these stages in the business process, but behind all of it, they're obviously people, and when we overuse an inhuman label like this, it sets a precedent in our mind, and you start unconsciously interacting with these people differently. And so these people have wants and dreams and aspirations just like you do, just like all of us on this session do. And so the faster we can create an emotional connection, the faster we can create a client. So I do caution you on over-reliance on the inhuman label of leads. Because, of course, they're obviously people. So this is from the NAR. This is Home Buyer and Seller Generational Trends Report, a rundown of what buyers are looking for in agents. Now, I want you to take a look at your screen if you're not looking at it now. There are the top 5 things, and I see a theme in these top 5, and I capture it in one word. It's a really important word for my business as well as yours. And the word that I see, especially in 1, 2, 3, and 5, is the word trust. It's explicitly in number 1, agent is honest and trustworthy. the reputation of an agent. Can I trust what he or she says? Do other people say nice things about them? Do they have a good reputation that I can get behind and trust and connect to? The agent is a friend or a family member. Obviously, some of your family members and friends may have done business, or some of your leads may have done business with their friend or family member rather than you out of obligation, but generally it's because we know, like, and trust our friends and family members. Obviously, number 4 is one about local expertise and knowledge. And number 5, it's a little bit of a stretch, but I like going with 4 out of 5 here on trust. This caring personality and good listener it's an empathetic piece. We're going to be talking a little bit about empathy. It doesn't have to be soft. If you don't have a softer, warmer personality, that's okay. You can still display empathy to build trust. And another thing that builds trust is similarity. We all gravitate toward people and things that are similar to us, that resonate with us. And so you can let people know that you're similar to them, obviously through social search. I don't know how many of you are using this. It doesn't take very much time to hit people up on social networks. It's amazing how many times I hear about agents making better connections with new leads that they didn't even know they had mutual friends in common with, but they searched them out on Facebook and saw that they had 4 mutual friends. And so not only can you reach out to those other people, we can, to the degree that it's a real thing, you can kind of name drop these people into the conversation, right? If you have like 4 mutual friends and 2 of them are really good personal friends of yours, it's totally appropriate to let them know that. Do you both like dogs? Do you both like boating or fishing or skiing or anything? These things that we can share similarly are great ways to connect with other people and, of course, to build trust. A great tool that you might want to use, this is a free Google Chrome extension, so you do need to use the Google Chrome browser. It's called Connect 6 in LinkedIn, when you're in your Gmail inbox, in a variety of different scenarios online. When you have this turned on Google Chrome, you're going to see a little Connect 6 icon, and when you hover it, they call it hover and discover. When you hover over it, you're going to see all the other connections they can round up. So if you find this person on LinkedIn, you can hover and find them on Facebook or find them on Twitter. Oftentimes you'll be able to get phone numbers and email addresses, places of employment and other things like that. And so a really great tool to help build similarity with other people and to understand these folks. And you might not, if you're doing massive lead generation and massive lead flow, you're obviously not going to have enough time to look up every single person, but maybe with the responsive leads on the second touch, you're going to take 3 minutes and just hit them up on some of these networks, and Connect 6 can help you be more efficient at doing that. So let's look at this question here. Would you like to see that property in person? There's obviously a particular lead type that this is a completely perfect question for in an opening response, whether it's by text, email, phone, or any other channel. And of course, this person is a buyer lead who's inquired on a specific listing. And the reason it's appropriate is that they've inquired on a specific listing. They're probably much farther down the road than someone that just set up some search criteria on your website, right? And so another way to approach people appropriately and not poison the relationship early, not over-treat the first date or the first touch and not ask for too much there, is obvious things like, is it a seller or a buyer? Are they asking about a specific property or a home search? Other things, though, are, did they come to you through your own website, or did they come to you through Zillow or Realtor.com or another third-party site? Did they inquire on your profile? Or did they inquire on your listing? Inquiring on your profile is a much different way for someone to come to you than inquiring about one of your listings. On your listing, of course, they may not know anything about you or care anything about you. They may not have seen any of your reviews. They just like this home, and you happen to be attached to it. Whereas if they come to you through your profile, obviously there's a good chance they're doing a little homework on you. They might have read some of those reviews. They might even have been a soft referral from someone. Hey, you need to check out my friend Steve Jenkins. They go search Steve Jenkins. Your Zillow profile comes up, let's say. You've got 18 reviews, 4 3/4 stars. Like, that's a really different approach, and you can start the conversation in a different way. So thinking about those lead types. I know this feels a little bit obvious, but one of the things I like on a webinar like this is to be reminded of some of those things that I maybe take for granted or overlook in my day-to-day business. So as the lead flow comes, whether it's moderate or whether it's vast, pay attention to where these folks are coming from so you can respond to them in a more appropriate way and reach them where they are in the process. So my buddy and team member here, Steve Passanelli, used to work with Realtor.com and Top Producer. I worked with them for a dozen years before joining us here at BombBomb, and he did an analysis with some other folks there of 3,000 lead responses, and these are the top 5 tips they drew out of that analysis. Number 1, respond quickly, obviously. It used to be 5 minutes. Now I'm seeing things like 1 minute. We face that in our own business as well, and I do not envy you that situation. The expectations of the consumers are higher than ever, so obviously try to honor that as well as you can. You're never going to be perfect. No one ever is, but you know, quick response is obviously very favorable for converting leads. Number 2, personalize. Again, you can use things like similarity. You can use things like where they are in the process or where they came to you from, what property did they inquire on, etc. Make sure when you're reaching out to them that they know that you know what's going on and that you're going to try to meet them where they are. And that's a key factor in empathizing. Again, this is oftentimes a difficult process or a challenging process, an emotionally charged process. So the more that you can let that person know that you feel them, that you know where they are, that you've been there yourself, that you've worked with other people that have been there, the more they're going to be able to connect to you and feel connected in a way that's going to make them say, yes, I choose you, and obviously convert. Number 4, differentiate and assert that value proposition. Be clear about your unique selling proposition or your value proposition. Why you? Why are you different? How are you different? The more you can articulate that. Some people just have one little, for lack of a better term, and I don't mean to minimize it, like a little gimmick or a hitch. Other people have something a little bit more elaborate, like a combination of things. On other people, it's simply their reputation. They've been in town for 35 years. They have a stellar reputation, and it just can't be beat. And so think about why people are choosing you, how you prefer to do business, the types of people you've attracted before and enjoyed working with, and build a clear USP around that and advance that in all your communication. And then finally, nurture and provide insight. Again, particularly for those folks that are coming to you with a longer lead time, be patient with them, nurture that, provide tips and build value into them. So let's take a quick look at a lead response built around point number 2, personalization. So bear with me here. We're going to play this audio through my speakers here, so hopefully you can hear it clearly.
Hey Ryan, Amy, Oliver, and Violet, it is Michael. Received your email. Thank you so much. I would love to come and meet your family and take a walk through your home. Tomorrow evening around 7 o'clock fits in my schedule. Let me know if that works for you too as well. You can find all my contact information down below. Thanks again, and we'll talk to you soon.
So that was a great example of personalization. He named all 4 family members, and why did he do this and how did he do this? He did this because they filled out a form, he sent a quick, simple reply, they replied back, and they signed the email Ryan, Amy, Oliver, and Violet. So 2 parents, 2 kids, and so he named them all in the video. And so he meets them at their house the next day at 7, and Oliver comes up and he's like, Michael, 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 Michael. Oliver, the boy, who was 8 or 9 years old, made his dad watch that video over and over and over again simply because he mentioned his name. In fact, they watched the video 15 times in the 24 hours between the time he sent it and the time that he connected with him. And so think about this. Who chose Michael as the agent to get this home sold, right? It was a seller lead inquiry that he responded to and made this personal touch. The 8-year-old boy made the decision. Oliver made that decision, and he did it through personalization. A couple other great things he did there. He provided a very clear call to action. It wasn't soft. It wasn't, you know, I got some openings the next couple days. What works for you? And let's go back and forth on 3 emails. It's tomorrow at 7 o'clock. What do you think? Right? And then they can come back with something else if they want to, but having a really good, clear call to action, and we'll get into that again. Another neat thing is that, of course, he used video. He's just holding up his iPhone and talking to them. So it's easier than typing it out. It's going to save him a little bit of time. And people feel like they know him before they meet him. He's walking into their home. What difference is it that they feel like they know him before he enters their home. It's a huge difference. It warms that relationship up, especially with colder online leads that you've never met before. So humanizing the connection and making it personal. So these are those 5 tips again: responding quickly, personalizing, empathizing, differentiating, and nurturing. So let's get into empathy a little bit. This is a 3-part framework that we've seen work really, really well for a lot of our clients. The 3-part framework for every piece of communication, emails in particular: empathy, value, and a clear call to action. Empathy, value, and a clear call to action. So empathy, of course, is your ability to understand and relate to them, to meet them where they are. And fundamentally, this is about letting them know, and I put the word know in there, but it's really about letting them feel that it's about them, not about you. And the more you can do that, the better off you are. Now, this challenge that you have with incomplete form fills and inaccurate lead data is not totally unique to you. This is an experiment from marketingexperiments.com with a large event management software company. And so these issues are cross industry. We face the same thing as well. People initiating free trials on our website, but with fake phone numbers, and so our sales folks can't connect with them and really do a proper needs assessment. So anyway, this experiment here was to help people complete the forms so that they could proceed with the relationship and ultimately move through the conversion process. So the control email on the left is a little bit more me, like they lead with, "We have an award-winning program and it's amazing." The one on the right, the treatment, says, "I noticed that you started the process but you weren't able to finish. Are you concerned about giving out your phone number? Are you worried about high-pressure sales tactics or mandatory contracts?" Right? So they're empathizing, and that treatment produced a 350% increase in completed lead inquiries. Massive difference by leading with empathy, just trying to meet people where they are, and it's pretty easy to do, right? They just added a different introduction to that email. So that's empathy. Value is, of course, your ability to serve with knowledge and expertise, to make tangible your unique selling proposition. It's not just a slogan. You actually have to demonstrate this. And so when you're communicating with people, there's a sweet combination here of promising value and actually delivering value. And this is a little bit, the promise of value is a little bit of a carrot to keep people moving down the road, and the delivering value is letting them know that you actually have real value to provide. You're not just promising it, you're actually delivering it. So there's a sweet dance you have to do there, and this is a high hurdle, but it's one to shoot for, is trying to give them something they can't Google. You very well know that people are starting their searches around buying and selling online, and they can get a lot of answers. And so where you fit into this is meeting them at the end of their search, where some of that online stuff, isn't as timely or up to date as the information you have. They've only been looking for 3 months. You've been in this town for 18 years helping people buy and sell homes. Give them something that they can't Google around the homes, around the neighborhoods, around the process, around things that are happening with financing. All those things that you know intuitively are massive value to people that don't quite search properly, or they're not searching in the right places, or the search can only take them so far. And this is where your value comes in. So do a combination of delivering value in each of your touches and promising value for what's to come. And then finally, a good, clear call to action, offering the next step with strength and with clarity. This is your ability to make clear the path forward. So in the conversion process, let's deal with just a general online lead that sets up a home search on your website. Obviously, you want to connect with them, make sure the home search is dialed in properly, that when they see things they like, you can maybe get together in person and go out and check some of those out. Let's look at a few more. Let's obviously get under contract is in that process. Let's make it write an offer on a house. All those various stages in the conversion, ultimately to them being a closed transaction and someone that's providing you repeat and referral business, right? So the conversions continue forward indefinitely if you're doing the business really well and you're generating a lot of repeat and referral business. And so there's obviously one next step, and you know what that next step is, and so show them the next 2 or 3 steps and walk them into the next one. You don't need to walk them all the way through the end right away, and you don't want to show them the entire path. You just light the way forward so it's easy for them to move forward. Remember, we want to activate System 1. System 1 is cognitive ease, and so when you repeat the same clear message, a same clear call to action, I'm operating intuitively, and this person is helping me, and it's easy for me to move forward. If you're not clear about your call to action, when we're presented with a message in any kind of a confusing way, we're much more likely to obviously activate System 2, experience cognitive strain, and give up easily, and give up earlier in the process, and just say, no, I don't have time to meet tomorrow. Those kinds of things that you need people to say yes to and you want people to say yes to, right? So the easier you can make the path forward, the more they're operating in System 1, connecting with you in an emotional way and moving forward. So let's take a look at an example of this. So this is a video that Kyle demonstrated. So this isn't one he sent to a client. He demonstrated it for a Facebook group. And so, you know, his videos, he still does them casually, but they look a little bit nicer than this one. This is his response to an incomplete or inaccurate form fill.
Hey there, thank you ever so much for signing up on our website, and we really hope that it's given you some value and benefit when you're searching for your new home. I also wanted to let you know that I completely understand not putting in your real name, phone number, and email. I would do exactly the same myself if I just wanted to find a home and I didn't want to be bothered. But what I wanted to let you know is that when the time is right for you and you feel that you need someone to help you through this difficult process, find you that dream home straight away and get you the best possible price for it, just log back into our site, put in your real details, and again, we're here to reach out to you and help you find that home that you want.
Okay, so one qualifier that I didn't mention, GoToWebinar is not amazing at playing back videos, so if that played choppy or staggered, if the voice and the face were not in sync, that's fine. The video is perfectly fine. It's just that GoToWebinar is not great at playing those back. And so if you did not follow that completely through, hold on, let me advance this slide. So here's what he said. Right? And look here for the empathy, the value, and the clear call to action. Thank you so much. I hope it's been a value and a benefit, right? I hope you're enjoying this and that you're getting value out of it. Here's the big empathy piece. I totally understand. You gave me incomplete or inaccurate information. Honestly, I would do the same thing myself if I just wanted to find a home and not be bothered. This is that cloak of anonymity that people are operating under all the time. You know what? I just don't want to talk to somebody. I want to do this on my own terms, and when I'm ready, I'm going to emerge from my shell, reveal myself, and hit you up for information if I like what you've provided me so far, if you've provided me good value. So he's letting them know, I know where you are. I'd be there myself, right? Whether or not I was ready, I would kind of do the same thing you would. But, and here he comes with the value piece and the call to action. The call to action is a little bit soft here, but again, he just kind of did this off the, just demonstrating what he tends to do. When the time is right for you, when you need someone to help you through this difficult process, and by the way, his accent doesn't hurt, it's really quite charming, he was a process, so that always helps. You can't fake that though. When you need someone to help you through this, because you're going to run into some things, you're going to have questions, and you're going to need someone. That's me. When you want to find that dream home, you don't want to just search for a bunch of homes and settle on one. You want, you know, complete, accurate, up to the second, perfectly fit to your criteria homes. I can help you with that. And get the best possible price, right? What's the value promise there? Negotiation. You don't want to do this on your own. It's difficult. It's challenging. It's emotionally charged. I'm the pro here. I'm here for you. So when you're ready, give me your correct information or reach out. We're here to help you. So that's a little bit what empathy, value, and call to action look like. So obviously he does it in video. I turned it into text. You can do the same thing in text just as well, as I said off the top of the session. Is that, and you can carry this concept of empathy, value, call to action into any piece of communication. You can restructure your voicemails around it. You can do a lot of different things with it, okay? So let's think about this. Why are these guys using simple video messages if they can't see you? Who woke up this morning and was just super excited to jump out of bed, have a cup of coffee, shower, get dressed, and go meet a bunch of salespeople, appliance salespeople and car salespeople and software salespeople? No one really, right? It's because we have these perceptions that, you know, we want to buy things, but we don't want to be sold things. And whether or not that's a fair assessment of who you are and how you do business, It doesn't matter because that's where so many of these consumers are. They're not quite sure if they can't see you, right? So I did a Google image search for sleazy salesman, and this is what came up. This is what resides in the minds of a lot of today's consumers. They're suspicious, they're skeptical, and they think all salespeople are like, we face it here on our team, you face it in your business, and even if we don't like it because it's not fair to us, it doesn't matter. We still have to accept this and work around it. By the way, I also did a search in the, wanted to represent the fairer gender among us. I did a search for sleazy saleswoman. Not the same search. Don't do that search. It's a bad search. So we have to deal with the perceptions that these folks have in their mind, and so video can help you do that. Take a look at this. This is an immediate follow-up to a seller lead inquiry. So I'm going to turn the mic back around again so you can hear it a little better. Turn up the volume a little bit.
Hey there, Carmelo. How you doing? Jesse Peters here. Hope all is well. Just wanted to touch base with you. Say yes, I would love to have the opportunity to meet you guys, talk about the housing market over in the River Heights area, and see what your options are for summer if you're looking at putting your house on the market. Obviously, to sell with my daughter right now before it starts to rain. So I will be available later tonight. You can reply to this. You can reply to this email, and be more than happy to set up a time for
Right, so let's take a look at
hey
what
there,
happened
Carmelo.
there.
How you doing? Jesse.
This video. This is what Jesse told us about how this video worked out for him. Their lead response came within 10 minutes. The first thing they said was they hope we got a fun playtime in before the rain. They can't wait to meet him and bring some bubbles to the appointments. So that's something he's never heard before. And so write this one down. If you like Connect 6, write down Rent a Kid. No, I'm just kidding. That's not a real app. You can't fake your kids into videos, but it's totally okay if they're there. If you look at that, his daughter obviously walked into what should be a quote-unquote professional video, right? This is a seller inquiry response. Notice also, too, wind noise. There's wind noise on that microphone, just right? It was shaky cam, vertical video. I know some of you watching this right now looked at that and like, oh my gosh, vertical video, I would never, right? So you look at this video and you say, this is insufficiently professional. This doesn't represent me and my business. I would never do that. But here's the deal. A perfect video does not convert more leads. It just doesn't. Perfection doesn't convert leads. We want them operating in system one. We want them to bring their guard down. A quote perfect or polished or professional video feels like a salesperson concept in my mind, right? It's produced, it's scripted, it's polished, it's professional. It's not approachable. It's system two, not system one. And so here's a really awesome piece that I recently read from the Content Marketing Institute. And it's called Visual Realism, the way to build trust with your audience. And what this is about is professional brands. And I'm talking brands like Levi's, Coca-Cola, Beta brand, some massive international brands are dumbing down the quality of their photos and their videos to be more real, to look more like yours and my Instagram photos, to look like yours and my handheld iPhone videos. So instead of being, as we're chasing forward to have this perfect video that looks like television or film or super high-end web video, the big brands are trying to run back toward us because the things that we do naturally as salespeople in our day-to-day business is far more trust building than a polished professional video. Here's some of the quotes out of that article. Far from perfectly posed images or elaborate sets, the types of images that work on Instagram and Snapchat feel spontaneous, imperfect, and even quirky. That's a little bit like Jesse Peters' video, right? He's in his ball cap, his daughter pops in, it's a vertical video, the camera's moving around in his hand, there's wind noise across the microphone, it doesn't matter, right? Because it feels more spontaneous and approachable and it builds trust. The aesthetic they're talking about here, they call it the glitch aesthetic of dumbing down their photos and videos as a way to bring authenticity to your brand, to explain the errors and imperfections, help you stand out in an environment with picture-perfect content. Videos are shaky and unrehearsed. Photos are slightly crooked or have an arbitrary composition. The result is a visual style that creates a sense of identification with the photographer or videographer, in this case salesperson, as a real person. You're far more approachable and far more real. Let's take a look at a couple more examples. This one looks really nice. This is Daniel with the Icon Group in Illinois, and this is just a webcam video, right? So he's got a cool background, but he's looking a little bit casual. He has a really nice smile. Listen to his delivery, but specifically here, listen to his promise of value. This is a slightly longer one than the ones we've been hearing, so hear it out.
Hey there, Scott. It's Daniel Kahn. I am the lead broker over here at Icon Group at RE/MAX. Icon Group is a team of realtors that I run out of our RE/MAX location on Harnish, which is in Algonquin. Hey, Scott, I wanted to really quickly just stop by, let you know that if you have any questions about any of the homes that you come across on our website, icongroup.com, that we are always here to answer any questions that you might have. Feel free to call, click, or text us with any of those questions. Also, if it will save you some time, my team does run custom home searches for all of our clients. There is no obligation and no fee for this. Just go ahead and get a hold of us through email or text or a call. Let us know exactly what it is that you are looking for, and then my team will run custom searches for you 3 times a day. We do it once at 7 when they get in, once again at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and then again before they leave in the evening. And then this way, any new homes that come on the market that match exactly what you're looking for get sent right to your email. You can view all the details from there and ask us any questions about them, or set up any home tours. So please use us as a resource. Let me know if you have any questions.
So what I wanted to emphasize there was this very specific, and I might have even pulled this farther up in the video so it's right off the top. That 7 o'clock, 1 o'clock, I think it was 3 or 4 o'clock promise, that's a very specific promise of value. And even if every shop in town does it, and I don't think that they do, but even if every shop in town does it, no one gets credit for it if you don't take credit for it. And so these unique things that you're doing, let people know about them. We're going to do a custom search just for you, no obligation, right? Obviously, you know there's no obligation there. You just want to help work this person, help serve their needs and interests, understand them better. But this promise of very specific updates throughout the day so that you're absolutely first to know is a nice, simple promise.
Hey there, Scott. It's Daniel Kahn.
Forward. Here's another one. This one's a little more quiet. I'm going to take a second to turn it up. This one is about empathy, and this is about where they are in the process. Notice he acknowledges it. I'll give it a pause after about halfway through because I just want you to hear how easy it can be to let people know that you know that they might not be ready.
Hey, Jim McGuire with RE/MAX Platinum here. You recently visited one of the RE/MAX websites, and I wanted to send you a quick video message to say hello and put a face to the name for you. I'm not sure where you are in the process of purchasing a home, whether you're just starting your search or you're a little farther along in the process, but I know it can be really confusing because there's just unlimited places to go for information. And because of that, I want to let you know that we're here to help you. If you have questions.
Right, so that's all I wanted you to hear there. I want to put a face with the name, let you know that I'm a real person. I'm not just some email Autobot shooting out emails from a real estate sales and marketing system. I'm a real person, and because I don't know where you came from exactly, or the way that you came through, I don't have all the details. I'm not sure where you are in the process. You might be ready to go. You might be far out. Either way, there are challenges you're going to run into, and I'm here to help you, right? So it's a great way to just establish yourself as a real human being and to let people know that you're there for them. Now, subject line tips. These are my 2 very favorite ones, or you can just Google great tips for subject lines. You're going to see a lot of different things, but my 2 favorite ones, because they're just fundamental, are, number 1, clear always beats clever. When you take off your sales hat or your management hat or your recruiting hat or your customer service hat and you put on your marketing hat, you tend to want to get clever, right? That's what marketers do. They have fun. They're clever. They do things that are different and unique and interesting. No, clear always wins. It's hard to do clever. It's very hard to do comedy. And so just be straight and clear. Again, you want people in a state of cognitive ease and operating easily to proceed forward, right? And this isn't manipulation. This is helping people move forward with something that they've expressed interest in. So clear always beats clever. Number 2, how long should my subject line be? Shoot for about 50 characters. That's going to display best. I actually like 35 or so. You don't have to character count every time, but you know, the next 3 or 4 emails you send, or any of the emails that you have set up to follow up with people automatically. Take a look at those character counts and get a feel for what 35 to 50 characters look like. Also, this is a massively overlooked opportunity. The pre-header text. Any email system should be able to let you add pre-header text to your emails. And so what is that? So this is, I just did this for demonstration purposes. The from name of this email is BombBomb Email Tips. The subject line, this is about a 25, or it's about a 30 character count, 3 ways to get more email opens. And then the pre-header text, again, this is just for demo purposes, use this pre-header to promise value. So that's what it looks like on my phone. Here's what it looks like in my Gmail inbox. Same email, the from name, the subject line, and the pre-header text. This allows you more real estate in the email inbox to help people know whether or not they should open your email. So take advantage of this pre-header text. Here's how to add it in BombBomb. You can add it hopefully in whatever email system you're using. When you're setting up your email, this is the save as name, the from email. When people reply, that's the address, the I will go back to, the subject line obviously, and then the pre-header text. Now, 2 ways to use the pre-header. You can use it to extend the subject line. Say you have a subject line you really want, you like it, you feel like it does the job, it says what you want to say, but it's like 80 characters long. Just break it apart. Go 40-40 or 45-35 and put part of it in the pre-header and part of it in the main subject line itself. The other way, so that's using them together, right? The other one is to use them separate but related. So a great way to think about this is, you know, I use the subject line to tee up what the email is about in a clear way to get people to open it. But then I'll use the pre-header to add some urgency to it. Today only, now through Friday, today at 1 o'clock, right? I'll use a kind of a time element in the pre-header. And so take advantage of the pre-header. I don't expect you to be able to read all of this data. This is ridiculous. I actually should have modified this slide, but this is another experiment from marketingexperiments.com. The key number here is this bold green one down in the bottom right. They tested 5 different treatments of pre-headers against each other, and some of them provided modest improvements of, you know, 5, 3, 1.6%. But pre-header versus no pre-header in this experiment of tens of thousands of emails produced a 30% lift. So if you're not using pre-header, I encourage you to experiment with it. You should experience some kind of a lift when you add pre-header to your subject line, and most email systems should allow you that. Here's a quick analysis of 15 million emails that we sent during a 2-week period in January here at BombBomb. The subject lines on the left were associated with higher email open rates. The subject line keywords in the middle were associated with higher video play rates. We do video in email, so we track email opens and link clicks and video plays. And so you'll notice there that thank and video are in both columns there. And just make a note. And then the underperforming over on the right were keywords that underperformed average on email open rate and video play rate. And these are not always and never. So many people want to put always and never black and white rules out on the internet, and you can read them and find them and believe them if you want to. The real fact of the matter is you need to see what works for you and your audience yourself, and sometimes the right thing is the right thing no matter what the statistics say, because the statistics will ultimately bear out whether or not you made the right decision. So I encourage you to pay attention to your email open rates, your link click rates, in the case that you're with BombBomb, your video play rates as well. So I share these just because thank and video are awesome words. In fact, video in the subject line produced an 8.3% higher open rate than average and a 33% higher play rate than average. Why is this? It goes back to that clear beats clever, right? You're making it clear that there's something for someone to watch inside. It helps them know what's going to be in there when they get there, and they're much more likely to take you up on that. All right, so those are some subject line tips. Kind of in closing here, I shared some video examples. It's because video works for lead conversion. Your whole goal, whatever your lead conversion process is right now, your whole goal is to get face-to-face, is it not? Right? The reason you follow up quickly with email is so that you can maybe get them on the phone. And the reason you get them on the phone is so you can schedule an in-person appointment. The reason you schedule the in-person appointment is because you win when you get together in person. It's a relationship and referral-based business, and you're best face-to-face. Almost every salesperson is, right? If you were better hiding behind email, you just sit there and hide behind email all day. And the neat thing about video is you have a webcam or you have a smartphone, it's really easy to do, and it humanizes you in a different way. So that's what we do at BombBomb. We make it easy to do it with your webcam. You just click the quick send button and this pops open. This is my buddy Steve. This is a BombBomb email. Obviously the design would have your name and your company logo and your face in it. You can also do it from mobile as well, from your iPad or your iPhone or your Android smartphone or tablet with a mobile app. And think about this, when you get an inquiry, right? Here's one that I hear sometimes. Hey, I'll just pretend I'm a real estate agent here in Colorado Springs. By the way, the entire BombBomb team is in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Actually, we have a couple of remote employees, but 50 of us are here. So, hey, Ethan, a sign just went up in my neighbor's yard for sale, but I can't find it online. What's going on with that, right? Have you ever gotten that inquiry? And so I could type out all the reasons why this person was right to come to me because I have better access to better information than the average consumer does out searching mainstream websites, and I went ahead and looked it up. I think it's priced at $575. I think that's a little bit low right now given what's going on in the market and given what I can tell from the condition, and type. I'm just typing all the stuff out, right? And I'm not sure if you're wondering about the value of your own home, but if you ever need anything like that, I'm your guy, and I would love to do that for you. In fact, I took a look at your specific subdivision, and homes in your area are up 5% month to month and 18% year to year. So if you do want to know the value of your home, it's probably more than it was the last time you inquired about it, and so blah, 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 right? I could type all that stuff out, but I don't really want to. My friend doesn't really want to read it. Instead, I can get face-to-face with him or her. It might have been weeks or months or even years since we've seen each other, and so building that rapport face-to-face can be a really powerful thing. Gmail or Outlook. You can record and send these videos not just from the mobile app or from the quick sender inside the app. You also have a send video button inside Gmail. It opens up a recorder. You record your video and just drops right into your Gmail emails. And we're doing all that tracking as well. So if you want to know who's opening your emails and exactly when, who's clicking your links and exactly when, who's playing your videos and exactly when, we round that up in a wide variety of ways so that you can follow up with people in the most efficient manner possible. So instead of sending out a new open house invite to 25 agents and 75 of your buyer leads who the home fits their approximate criteria, and then trying to call them all, or sitting on your hands and waiting for some of them to reply, you can go in and look at the analytics. Who opened up the email? Who played your personal video introducing the home? Who clicked through to see the full set of photos and information online? Those are the folks that you want to follow up with, because those are the people who, with real trackable behavior, expressed interest in it. And so that's another key part of lead conversion, is reaching the right people at the right time. We're also tied into a bunch of systems. These are some that a lot of folks are using to generate a lot of online leads. And so through some of these, you can add videos. Some of them you can even automatically send a video. Hey, my name is Ethan with BombBomb Real Estate here in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Really want to thank you so much for inquiring on my Zillow profile. Hopefully you read some of those reviews. I would love to talk with you by phone. I'll be following up with you, in fact, by phone here shortly. Just want to put a face with the name and say thanks again. That can be going out for you automatically within seconds of someone inquiring on your profile. And so, when you're talking about that speed to lead piece, some of that stuff can be done automatically, and then, of course, you continue it forward. So, quick mention, if you liked anything about this lead follow-up process, I set up bombbomb.com/MD Realtors, Maryland Realtors, bombbomb.com/MD Realtors, and there's no credit card required if you want to try it free and see if getting face-to-face and putting some of these ideas like empathy, value, call to action in play, see if having people feel like they know you before you come visit them at their home or meet them at the neighborhood Starbucks makes a difference for you. We'd love for you to try that. And if you check it out today, I did set it up to deliver into your free trial account automatically about $600 in additional content. These are learn by doing activities that we built based on best use cases. As hopefully you felt during this presentation, we do a ton of work with tens of thousands of folks all over the world, mostly in the US and Canada, but all over the world. And we have great relationships with a lot of them, and so we're constantly learning what's working today in today's real estate environment. And we put some of that into pre-written emails, pre-written scripts, and some activities that will train you up at your own pace on how other people are winning. And again, if you have any questions, I'm open to taking those now. And my email address is currently on the screen if you want to email me any question offline. I'm totally open to that. And so if you have any questions, I will make this smaller on my screen and turn my audio back on. So if there are any questions, type those into the question box in the GoToWebinar panel. Sharon is asking, how long is the free trial? Good question. That is, it's 2 weeks long. So if you start it today, you'll have it through 2 weeks from today. And you have unlimited email sending, unlimited video recording and video uploading. You have access to all the features, including the integrations and custom forms tool and some other stuff. But the main thing is to get in there to see if it's going to be comfortable, to see if it's going to be a good fit for you and your business. So there's no credit card required. It's 2 weeks long. And yeah, it's just the main idea there is to help you evaluate whether or not it's a good fit. And if you do start a trial there at /MDRealtors and turn on that free content, one of our team members will be assigned to you. They'll reach out to you by email and by phone, and they want to do what you want to do with your leads as well, which is find out who you are, what you're about, what you're trying to get done. Are you doing a massive amount of online lead generation, or are you doing most of your business by repeat and referral? Or maybe are you a selling broker where you're trying to do some recruiting and retention, you want some ideas and help there, and but you're also still helping buyers and sellers. And so we want to know who you are and what you're about, and so we'll offer to schedule a one-on-one appointment with you. If you want to engage with us, we'd love to do that and give you some great ideas. Next question, how do you handle the bogus email address that comes back undeliverable? Really, Scott, there's not a lot you can do about that. I think that Connect 6 app that I mentioned operates based on email. It certainly operates that way in Gmail. It probably operates that way in Facebook and LinkedIn because you log into that with a real email address. And so if you're operating with a fake email address, there just really isn't a lot you can do, unfortunately. And that's okay. I mean, there's no reason to overwork for this situation. I think your current database, whether there are 50 past buyers and sellers in there or 500 or 5,000, I would rather spend my time reaching out to past clients just to engage them than I would trying to hunt down someone that is so far away from a conversation that they won't even give you a real email address. So there's just not a lot you can do around that. The one thing I would do on your email address is if you're using an email tool for lead follow-up and you're getting some undeliverables and some bounces and things like that, I would look at the ones that bounce and see, is it simply a typo? And so is it like gmail.com instead of gmail.com? And in that case, I would certainly correct those, but I wouldn't overwork to try to get to people who just, it's just an outright nobody at nobody.com. Just forget about them, was what I would say. Can you give a verbal example of what you should say when you get a lead from one of your companies you are working with to make sure they will convert, meaning they will need to sign an agreement, etc.? That's a really good and specific question, Mary. Can you give a verbal example of what you should say when you get a lead from one of your companies you are working with to make sure they will convert? I'm not perfectly clear on this one, but in general, again, with this, clear is better than clever. I think whenever, when you're thinking about the conversion process, wherever the signed agreement is in that process, preview it 2 steps out or 3 steps out, right? If you take 5 minutes and break down the lead conversion process you're thinking of, Mary, and you break it down into like 8 steps, let's say, and the signed agreement is step 4, kind of start previewing that in steps 2 or 3. And I don't have a script off the top of my head for it, but just being direct and honest is like, hey, you know, I'm really excited about this opportunity. I think it's a good opportunity. You know, I think we should proceed. Want to let you know that I will be following up in the next couple days with an agreement we are going to need to sign. If you have any questions about that, I would love to answer those for you as soon as I deliver it, and certainly prior to you signing it. But that's what it's going to take to keep moving this forward. And if you don't make it a big deal, it's not a big deal. And if you make yourself available to answer the question, you know, it's a much more human approach and a direct approach that I think people will be able to relate to. So I don't know. Hopefully you found that helpful. Any advice for lead generation for new realtors new to the area? Man, that's a great question. I would obviously work with the agents in your office. Depending on the culture in your office, I know a lot of them are very, very cooperative. I wouldn't be afraid to spend some money online. Like we have a super, super wide range of customers, obviously, and some of them are spending, you know, 10, 20, 30 grand a month online, but they're feeding all that lead gen out to a whole massive team of people. We have other people. I'm thinking of one guy in particular who's an awesome customer. He has a past client database in his area of about 300 people, but he uses it to generate 98% of his business, and he employs 2 people to help him with that process. And so that's just an awesome business model that works for him. And so what I would say is focusing on an area is obviously a helpful thing, and spending some money up front is helpful. I think if you were an agent in another area and you're new to this area, I certainly would let everyone know where you've gone in your previous market, because that might shake a couple opportunities out of the tree. And yeah, that's just a few ideas. We have several questions here. So hopefully you found that helpful, Tyler. Thanks for the question. And again, if I'm answer unsatisfactory to some of these questions, you can always email me. My email's on the screen. Also, I'm not an agent. You're the professional. I just work with agents all the time. So I do have a lot of helpful information, and I look at some things differently from you, but there's some stuff specific to your business that another agent in your office or your broker owner or someone else might be even better suited to answer. What's the monthly cost? Are you offering any promotional rates after the trial? Sharon, we tend not to do price discounting. We think there's massive value in the software. There are 2 different ways to buy it. You can buy it month to month, or you can buy it annually. If you buy it annually, there are 2 tiers. One of them is about $450 a year, and the other one's about $575. So you're looking at, you know, about $30 to $50 a month on average. And if you buy annually, it is less expensive than buying it month to month. But the deal is, if you use it and you get face-to-face with people, there's no question you're going to get more than $500 in value out of it. Oh, good. That was Amy's question as well. I noticed that the male realtors are in business casual. How should the female realtors dress? Great question. We got 1 minute before the top of the hour, so this is going to be my last question. Feel free to email me if you have more questions. But this is a great question from Terry. I noticed that the male realtors are business casual. How should the female realtors dress? Business suit, business casual, etc. I see all ranges of things. I see, so you saw Jesse Peters in a ball cap and a shirt, but it was appropriate because he was out at the park with his daughter out in the back field there. And the people can understand that. Michael was standing in his office, so he had a nice shirt and a jacket on, but no tie. You saw another guy sitting at his desk in his office, and I would call those both business casual, although Daniel there with the Icon Group was wearing a flannel button-down, right? And so the main thing here is being who you are, being real, being approachable. If you're a real buttoned-up person, be a buttoned-up person. If you're a buttoned-up person at that time, be a buttoned-up person in that moment. If the opportunity calls for being buttoned up, be buttoned up. But I see a lot of casual stuff because what this is not the same as a website video. This isn't the same as your YouTube channel. This is in place of plain typed out text emails. And so there's a different level of acceptance there. You're not saying, this is my very, very best face forward. You're saying, this is my face and my voice and my personality and my expertise conveyed in a way that plain black text on a plain white screen can never, ever convey, and it conveys it in a way that you can attach to emotionally. The end.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Ethan. It looks like everybody's just thanking you so much and saying very informative. We thank you so much for your time today. And as he said, if you need any further information, please feel free to email him. And that concludes today.
Yep. Thank you all very much. I really appreciate the opportunity. I hope you found it valuable.
Of course. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Same to all of you.
Bye-bye.